A Karen insists her bratty kid be allowed to play with my daughter's life-saving medical equipment while at the pediatric cardiology office. She physically assaults me when I try to stop her kid from destroying it. Here's what happened. When my oldest daughter was born, she had some significant heart problems. NICU for a while, and then at 10 weeks old, she developed supraventricular tachycardia, which means that her heart would beat excessively for no reason. She was in the pediatric ICU for 2 weeks after nearly dying from organ failure. She's fine now. This particular incident happened about a week after she was released from ICU. She'd been sent home with a portable heart monitor. We went to the cardiologist once a week for the batteries on the monitor to be changed and the readings to be checked. On this day, we were sitting in the waiting room at the pediatric cardiology office. Wait times were insane here, as there are only 2 doctors for the entire region, and it wasn't unusual to wait 30 minutes or longer for an appointment. Entitled Dad and Bratty Kid were the only other ones there. But here we are in the waiting room. My daughter is asleep in her car seat carrier, and I'm lightly half-dozing. Something touched my knee. I look down, and Bratty Kid is there. So I say, "Hi!" The Bratty Kid then asks, "Is that a real baby?" I start laughing and say, "Yes, it is." "Is it a boy?" My daughter was dressed in a yellow sleeper with pink strawberries on it, lacy pink socks, pink hat. "No, it's a girl," I replied. The kid then asks, "What's that?" while pointing to the heart monitor. "Ah, that? That's to make sure her heart is beating right. Can I play with it?" "No. Sorry, kid, it's not a toy." The kid refuses to accept no for an answer and he shouts, "But I'm bored." I looked across the room and the dad is flat out asleep. He's actually snoring. "Why don't you go talk to your dad then?" At this moment, I'm called up to the insurance desk to fill out another form. Bratty Kid had gone back to his dad, so I left my baby there as I was only about 4 feet away. I turned to go sit down, and Entitled Dad is awake and walking toward me. The dad asks, "Do you have a toy my son can play with?" I say, "Nope, sorry." "Oh, really now? He says you do give it to him." The dad says, "I don't, buddy. Come on, man, I need a nap. Just give him the toy so I can go back to sleep." "But there is no toy. You should have brought one for him if you wanted to sleep so bad." If looks could kill. He went back to his side of the room and I sat down. About another 10 minutes pass. The daughter is awake now and hungry. I'm digging through the diaper bag. As a first-time mom with a child in and out of the hospital, I hadn't had the time or energy to develop a system for the bag yet, so it took me a minute. By the time I'd found what I needed, my daughter was screaming and so was her heart monitor, the cords of which are in Bratty Kid's hand. The loud beeps from the disconnected monitor wake up Entitled Dad. The dad shoots out of his chair. He screams, "What the fuck? The fuck is that?" I don't even have time to answer before a nurse rushes to us. She drops to the floor to check my daughter. Meanwhile, I snatch the heart monitor from Bratty Kid's hand. The kid screams, "That's mine! Give it back!" The dad screams, "Why are you taking his toys from him?" I was angry, so I just told the dad to go back to sleep. It's all you seem to be good for. The dad then grabs my arm and yanks the monitor from me to give it back to the kid, who promptly drops it. The nurse picks up the monitor and shouts, "You need to leave now. This is sensitive medical equipment. If it's damaged, we're billing you for it." "You have no right to talk to me like that. Do you know who I am?" The dad retorts, "You're the guy who's about to get arrested if you don't leave now." On his way out, he screamed profanities about me, the nurse, and the clinic. His wife, who'd been in the back with the doctor, was told he was banned from the clinic and was handed a bill for the cost of the monitor. A few weeks later, during another appointment, the nurse told me he'd sued the clinic for emotional trauma. It was dropped when the clinic counter sued for the monitor's cost. Oh my goodness, this Karen's behavior is absolutely insane. I can't even begin to imagine what this mom went through. The nerve of this entitled dad and his bratty kid to not only interrupt a family in a medical waiting room, but to then demand a toy that doesn't even exist, and to try and take away the vital heart monitor from a baby with a heart condition, and then to grab the mom's arm and take the monitor from her. That's just beyond belief. I'm so glad the nurse stepped in to help and kicked them out before any more harm could be done. It's so frustrating when people are so selfish and inconsiderate, especially in a medical setting where everyone is already stressed and worried. What do you guys think of this absurd situation? Have you ever encountered a Karen or entitled person like this? Let me know in the comments. A racist Karen of a boss tells me to shave my beard, claiming I look like a terrorist, then threatens my pay when I confront her. But when I take action against her and her colleagues, they get their comeuppance. Here's what happened. I used to work in hospitality in a metro known for its obscenely huge tourist population. You know, the city built around the mouse. I was a manager for the recreational division of the hotel. So one day my boss, who we'll call Mary for the purpose of the story, comes into the shared manager's office and starts rummaging around for something, and strikes up a small conversation about work-related minutia with me. It's important to note she She is actually 2 tiers above me, but was acting as head of the department while searching to replace my previous boss who recently quit. Great guy, by the way, massive loss to the company. As we're talking, she abruptly stops and says, "By the way, you need to shave your beard. You look like a terrorist and I don't employ terrorists." Haha, funny joke between colleagues, right? Nope, I am half Indian, and I do look Middle Eastern and have been taking this kind of shit since middle school. Plus, we're not close at all. So I reply as calmly as I can muster, "Hey, I get you're trying to be funny, but on my end, it comes off as pretty ignorant, so I'd appreciate it if you chilled out with the terrorist stuff." To which Mary retorts, "Oh, I'm ignorant. We'll see how ignorant I am during your annual review," and proceeds to walk out of the room in a huff. My jaw dropped so low I could taste the floor. You would think it was an easy fix, right? Go to HR and all. She's made rude comments like this before. I've refrained from contacting HR because I didn't want to be petty, but now she threatened my pay, and that's no bueno. So I go to HR like a good boy and tell the HR director, who we'll call Boyd. I explicitly ask him not to mention it to anyone, just to log it away in case someone else reports something similar and he can establish a pattern of behavior. Well, Boyd decided that he simply must talk to Mary about it. I stress again that I'm not comfortable with it, since she strikes me as the vindictive type. No good. He promises there will be no retaliation and tells me he'll contact me later for a statement, which I thought was weird. Why not make a statement now? And that was that. About a week goes by, and I follow up with Boyd because I've been getting some less than pleasant vibes from Mary. Nothing substantial, but odd. When I ask what happened, he tells me, well, it appears that Mary was just joking, but she has agreed to never say anything like that again. Your annual review is not in jeopardy. At that point, I decide to just let it go. Fast forward a month, a new director for our department is hired, and surprise, surprise, it's her roommate and former front desk supervisor, Joe. Okay, cool, I'm used to the nepotism because the entire hotel basically operates that way. Whatever. Never had an issue with him. Didn't know him too well, but I'm happy our little hive has a leader again. Man, how fucking naive I was. From the get-go, he is unpleasant. Snide comments left and right, changing my schedule at the last minute every week, or scheduling me on my established days off, giving away opportunities to my peers that I'm never considered for, making me take improvement classes none of my peers have to take. All strange, but up to that point, nothing earth-shattering, until one day I get written up out of the blue, first ever write-up BTW, for refusing to inform a superior of leaving the premises, referring to me leaving the day prior without literally saying the words, "Hey Joe, I'm leaving for the day." 1. This is not an established policy, written or otherwise. When I say I'm leaving, it's a courtesy. 2. I know for a fact my peers don't always say when they leave, personal observation, and was corroborated by them after asking around. And 3. Knowing that my peers aren't held to the same bogus standard, and having never been written up for it, I know this is a direct shot at me. My review is fucked. Best part? Joe let it slip that Mary asked for me after I left, and when it was found that I was indeed gone, she requested the write-up. That was fuck-up number 2, lady. Number 3 came when Boyd decided to cover his own ass when I approached him with all the evidence pointing to retaliation and discrimination in the workplace. I learned he never properly documented his discussion with me or Mary, and that he's been basically playing the whole fucking thing by ear. I decided to write my long past due statement then and there, turn it in, and email a picture copy to the corporate office. I tell Boyd that I am sorely disappointed about how he handled the issue, and he responds by accusing me of dramatizing the whole ordeal. He was very flippant about the whole thing, rolling his eyes and everything. "'Kay, buddy, I see you now." So finally, we've reached the revenge. After some time, I scrounge up all the evidence I can. My write-up, my co-workers' write-up records, with their permission, company policy manuals, my schedules for the past month, including the bogus classes only I was made to attend, my co-workers' schedules, witness statements, from peers when Mary has said other demeaning things, and a few others items. Next step, I tell off Joe, because fuck him. I make sure he is very angry when I leave. You'll see why later. After crossing my T's and dotting my I's, I resigned with a 2-week notice. That night, I type up a letter to the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and attach all my evidence. I mention Mary, Boyd, and Joe by first and last name. I hint that I am pondering a lawsuit. A few weeks later, I have my girlfriend call my old job pretending to be a potential employer, asking for a reference. I give her the extension to Joe's desk. As I predicted, he slanders the ever-loving shit out of me. Straight up lies, even got my resignation date wrong along with my attendance record, all verifiable, helping my case. I tried the same trick with Boyd. but he was smart enough to point my girlfriend in the direction of a third-party reference dialer the company is supposed to use for these kinds of calls. I proceed to send my old employer, corporate included, a cease and desist letter with a transcript of the call, hinting I may sue for slander. No, here's the result. Some time passes, and the other day I'm at the bank with my girlfriend. I get a call from an old coworker. I miss the call, but I resign to call him back later. Less than an hour later, I get 5 to 6 calls and texts informing me that Mary, Joe, and Boyd were all fired the same day and walked out of the building. Mary cried. Apparently, the corporate office was contacted by the EEOC and launched their own internal investigation, matching their records with my evidence. The EEOC sent me a return letter with the company's statement, which was fallacious as fuck due to their interviews with the Three Stooges. But nonetheless, I suppose they decided it was easier to nip it in the bud and sack their asses to be safe. Karma may be a bitch, but in this case, she had nothing to fucking do with it. Holy Karen on a cracker. I can't even believe what I just read. OP's story just made me go from 0 to 100 real quick. I can't even begin to imagine what it must feel like to have your boss say that to you. And the fact that HR didn't handle the situation correctly, to begin with, just made it even worse. And then, to have to deal with Joe, who was probably Mary's crony, and all his bullshit write-ups and scheduling shenanigans, just takes the cake. The retaliation and discrimination in the workplace are just unacceptable, and it's no wonder OP decided to take matters into their own hands. But the ending, though, OMG. I had to take a moment to process that they all got fired on the same day. Justice served. It just goes to show that you can't get away with treating people like crap and playing favorites. I wonder what the viewers think of this insane situation. Have any of you ever been in a similar situation? Let me know in the comments below. A Karen believes she has the right to dictate who I can and cannot date based on their religion and race, and is willing to use racist and hurtful tactics to control my love life. Here's what happened when I tried to stand up for myself and the person I love. Subscribe to You're the Jerk and hit the bell to never miss an upload. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 6 months now, but before that, we were friends for a long while. He was at an exchange program at my university, and we just hit it off. He's basically my best friend. I can talk to him about anything, and I feel incredibly safe and protected by him. My parents are Muslims, mom is Asian, and dad is Arab. The thing is, my boyfriend's a recent convert. He converted before we met, actually, so it was entirely his decision. So chances of my parents being against him is 150% plus. Just the other day, my aunt asked me if I was seeing anyone. I didn't tell her that I was dating or anything of the sort, just that I had a friend I liked. She asked for a picture, I shared it with her. I said I liked him and he likes me, but he's a convert and younger than me. She asked, which religion is he from? I said that his parents are Buddhist. I never mentioned his race to her either. She said he was cute, but she's against it because of the age difference. I am supposed to be the younger one in the relationship. A few days later, while going on a hellish long drive with my mom, she started bring up topics about women who marry recent converts being cursed, that their children will be born handicapped, their husbands will cheat on them eventually, and that the guys are only converting because of the girl, not for themselves. So the guys will revert back to whatever their originally religion was. She kept asking to see my phone and see if I was going out with anyone, kept accusing me of keeping secrets from her. She proceeded to tell me that my dad dreamt of me being in a bathtub with a black Nigerian man with horns and having my back turned on my parents in the dream. The year before, my dad dreamt I was naked in a hot tub with some ugly fat guy. So now my dad is crying because he thinks that the devil has won and made me stray from the path. I was looking for something on my mom's phone, a video. I scrolled down and there it was, my boyfriend's pic, in her phone, sent by my aunt. I felt betrayed, but I kept quiet. I wanted to see where this was going. Today my mom told me that she dreamt of a Chinese man, wearing all red, bowing before her and bobbing his head. This is so racist, I don't even know what to say anymore. She asked me again, much more sternly this time, am I seeing anyone? I said I liked someone. She asked if he had slanted eyes, racist Asian mom language. Is he Chinese? I said yes. How long have you known him? 2 years. You've been keeping quiet. I told you that I need to screen every single one of your boyfriends. I don't like this guy. He's a convert, has slanted eyes, and is a lot younger than you. It will never work out. I don't approve of him. No wonder your father has been crying. He was right. She wants me to be with someone of similar age, or he needs to be older than me. Comes from a line of Muslims. Is an original Muslim and is religious. And no Buddhist/Chinese, because they hate Muslims and will do whatever it takes to stray Muslims from the right path. My heart just broke. I don't know, deep down, I wanted them to be okay with this. I feel betrayed by my aunt. I feel like I'm being trapped by my parents. It's gotten to the point where I might just wait till everyone dies before I start to date openly. I love being with him, but I think he deserves better. I'm fine with being single. I'll be sad, sure, but at least I won't make my parents cry over it. I hate making them sad or disappointing them. I can't move out because in Islam, it is illegal for a woman to live on her own. I also can't just elope or marry my boyfriend if we choose to do so, because I need blessings from my parents in order to get married. I'm sorry my mind is a mess right now. I really don't know how to deal with this situation. This is mainly why I never introduced them to my other boyfriends, because I guess deep down, I knew they'd never accept who I choose. So this is pretty disheartening. I'll probably never look for a relationship ever again if this is how the outcome will always be. It's put me off completely. I care about them a lot and I don't want to make them sad. But on the other hand, if I do marry someone they approve of, I'm gonna be honest, it'd probably be just for them. I'd probably silently resent my future husband for this, and it's not fair. I'll be sad if I marry someone they approve. I can't choose who I like. They'll be sad if I marry someone they don't approve. Feels like the best way is to just not get married, to be honest. I can't believe the lengths some parents will go to try and control their children's love lives. OP, I feel for you and your boyfriend. It sounds like you two have a really strong connection and it's unfair that your parents are trying to come between you. I can't believe your aunt went behind your back and showed your mom a picture of your boyfriend without your permission. And then your mom's dreams about a black Nigerian man with horns and a Chinese man in all red are just ridiculous and offensive. It's not fair for them to judge your boyfriend based on his race or religion. It's also sad to hear that you feel like you have to choose between your own happiness and your parents' approval. It's not fair for them to put you in that position. You deserve to be with someone who makes you happy, regardless of their age, race, or religion. I'm curious to hear what the viewers think about this situation. Anyways, you should check the video on screen where a Karen falsely accuses OP of taking drugs in a restaurant and calls the cops on him. Little did she know that her ignorance would lead to her own arrest. Yeah, this one's an interesting story, to be honest.